Recent research has unveiled a concerning link between prenatal exposure to marijuana and an increased risk of opioid addiction later in life. As cannabis use becomes more prevalent among pregnant women, understanding the potential long-term effects on offspring is crucial. This study sheds light on how exposure to tetrahydrocannabinol, or THC, the psychoactive component of cannabis, may alter brain development. Conducted by researchers at the University of Maryland School of Medicine, this preclinical study was published in the journal Science Advances. It reveals that prenatal exposure to THC can cause significant neurobiological changes in the developing brain. These changes include a hyperactive response in dopamine neurons, which are crucial for the brain's reward system. This hyperactivity leads to an increased release of dopamine, a neurotransmitter associated with pleasure and reward. The study found that animals exposed to THC in utero displayed a heightened motivation to seek opioids, indicating a potential predisposition to addiction-like behaviors. It demonstrates the enduring consequences that prenatal cannabis exposure exerts on the brain's reward system, said Dr. Joseph Cheer, the study's corresponding author. THC, the main psychoactive ingredient in cannabis, has been shown to impact fetal brain development significantly. The study highlights how THC exposure rewires the brain's reward system, making it more responsive to cues associated with rewards, such as food or drugs. This rewiring results in a hypersensitized wanting system, which may increase the risk of addiction to substances like opioids. The findings underscore the importance of understanding the effects of THC on the developing brain, especially as cannabis use becomes more widespread. With the legalization of recreational cannabis, many pregnant women in the United States are using the drug to alleviate symptoms like morning sickness and anxiety. However, the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists advises caution, recommending that doctors counsel patients on the potential risks of cannabis use during pregnancy. Dr. Cheer and his colleagues are working to provide better guidance to pregnant patients, emphasizing the need for awareness about the possible long-term effects of THC exposure on their children. As Dr. Cheer notes, doctors are contending with an explosion of cannabis use, and the THC content has quadrupled from what it was a generation ago. Interestingly, the study found that the risk of developing addiction-like behaviors was more pronounced in male animals compared to females. This gender difference in addiction risk is a significant finding, prompting further research to understand the underlying mechanisms. Dr. Cheer and his team are collaborating with colleagues to explore why males are more susceptible to these effects. Understanding these gender-specific differences could lead to more targeted interventions and prevention strategies for those at risk. The study's findings open new avenues for research into the long-term effects of prenatal THC exposure. Dr. Cheer and his team are investigating whether some of the adverse effects can be mitigated through innovative approaches like CRISPR-based gene therapies or repurposed drugs. Additionally, they aim to provide more comprehensive advice to pregnant women, many of whom believe cannabis is a safer alternative to traditional medications. As Dean Mark T. Gladwin emphasizes, we need to more fully understand the enduring effects of THC exposure in the womb. The research, funded by the National Institute on Drug Abuse, continues to explore the complex relationship between prenatal cannabis exposure and addiction risk, with the hope of informing public health policies and clinical practices.